Hey, Fiendish Films fans, this is Mike Fitzgerald, and I'm here with...
Madeline, and I beat this game.
Okay, and we're here to review another film, and today we're reviewing the, film Die. We just got finished watching it on Netflix. It's a film from 2010. Well, where do you want to start?
Who is it directed by? I've been asking you that.
You've been asking me that. Oh, okay. Well,
this was kind of picked at random.
Well, no, actually, it wasn't picked at random. Jurassic Jim picked the movie.
Yeah, because Jurassic Jim's birthday was the other day.
It was a week ago, but that's not really important, and I don't think anybody really cares. It's directed by Dominic James.
Has he directed anything else?
Okay, well, we're going to see this. Obviously, we do no research beforehand. Angel Mort, Lotto 6/66, Distant Shore. He's also been an actor. And this is probably the first thing I've seen by him. But it's good.
Yeah, it was a really good film.
It's entertaining. And I would probably watch more films by this Canadian director. And minor point, it's obviously a Canadian film. Well, it's not like it's adds or detracts from the film,
No.
but it's a Canadian film, and there's Canadian and Quebec, Vive la Quebec accents, and it's just part of the film. It's not really even important, but I guess it does. I mean, the story takes place in a unnamed city, but there is a casino in the city.
Yeah.
And I think gambling regulations are different in Canada. So I know Niagara Falls has gambling in it. So I don't know. Once again, maybe not really even important. Just a thing. Yes, it's Canadian. We're going to get over it and we're going to actually talk about the film. All right. So
the film was really, really good. I don't really have any gripes about it. I would say it's kind of like what Saw would be if Saw actually had a decent storyline and was more than just torture porn.
Okay, now, is that a fair comparison for the film?
The premise is similar.
Well,
A little bit.
but I don't think I considered making that. I considered saying something similar to that, but I didn't want to because I think at this point, when we say that, it's like it's a more mature version of Saw, or it's a non-gory version of Saw. It's now that anytime. I mean, there were movies before Saw in which, in this film, there's a mastermind who abducts 6 people, and we will say yes to play a game which at stake is their lives.
Yes.
Okay. Now, because of that scenario, a lot of people, you said it's akin to a Saw. But there were films before Saw that had a mastermind putting people into a deadly scenario against their will.
Well, not just that, it's a case of if you survive, you gain this new kind of enlightenment.
Okay, so that's...
In a way, should we get the premise of the film?
Well, I mean, if you want to.
Basically, there's this author who, I'm going to try not to give any spoilers, he abducts people who have attempted suicide and then puts them in situations where they are forced to potentially kill another person, and it's all dependent on them rolling a 6-sided die. And the way that the other person dies is similar to the way that they tried to end their own lives. But if they survive, they're set free, and they have this kind of new enlightened look on life, can start over, and that's where my comparison comes from. So,
Okay. But did anyone in... Well, I don't think there was that benefit for anyone in any of the Saw films.
Or you could argue...
Everyone was either just killed...
What's her name?
I mean, were there any actual...
Well, what's her name?
The girl from Becker?
Jaw Girl, the drug addict.
His disciple, who became his disciple.
Yeah, but then messed up the whole thing.
Yeah, but nobody...
But that was the premise, that, like, and now you appreciate being alive.
I think this film or this story suggests a greater suggests there's a greater chance, and does show numerous individuals who, by the chance of the die, survived and started life anew. And I think that's more of part of the story than any survivors were in Saw.
True.
Anyone who survived any of the Saw films either died in the next film or was just destroyed or crushed. Really. It was really. And I don't even remember if anyone lived in any of the Saw films.
It's not like in Saw, I survived, so now I have
Yeah.
that white picket fence and that perfect Brady Bunch family I always wanted, and my kid is honor student.
Yeah. Well, and the difference is, I think, Tobin Bell's character, or Jigsaw in Saw, was just looking to punish his victims. Why? Well, give me a second. I'm gonna find the name of the character in this film. But the main character, the
antagonist,
he
says a few times
he's actually seeking to help in his own twisted way.
He says, either are you going to give them death, or are you going to give them the opportunity to start a new life?
Jacob. Okay. So, the point is, I don't think it's fair to compare it. I think, and another thing I want to point out is, and this is something else I've noticed. We watched this film off Netflix, and I've actually seen this title at video stores. And if you check on Netflix, or actually I'm going to put it right here over Madeline's face, the cover that you see on Netflix. It is, really. Yeah. It's a horribly generic, bloody die horror cover, and I'm sure if I read the description, it's going to be misleading, and you're going to get the wrong idea about what it is, and it does not express what this film is. It's not a horror film. I wouldn't describe this as a horror film. No. This is more akin to a thriller. I think it is probably going to be marketed as a horror film. I think like the IMDb page has a much better poster, which I would have. And yes, it doesn't really tell you a lot, but at least it doesn't have that generic horror movie cover. It suggests there's more, and the generic cover and any comparisons to Saw. I'm not putting down your trying to make people understand what this movie is about, but lots of films get robbed from potential audiences
because
they're miscalified. This is a thriller. I didn't find. Yeah, this is just a thriller. I don't think that there's anything horrific about it. I mean,
No.
yes, the situations for the individuals could be considered horrific, but this is a thriller. And I think people going into it looking for a horror film might be misled and may not enjoy it as much, but if they expected a thriller, they're going to enjoy it. Kind of like in our last review, we went into the ABCs of Death expecting horror, and what we got was comedy, and that
Fart jokes.
messed with our enjoyment of it, our perception of, our pre-perception of it, our expectations of it affected our enjoyment of it. And I think people could enjoy Die for what it is, and if they understood what it is. But this happens to a lot of films. I think I know there was another one that Jurassic Jim recommended, The Final.
Yes.
Yes. And if you look on Netflix, it has this horrible art. Well, here I'm going to block Madeline again. Horrible generic art, which really doesn't give you a great estimation of what the film is about. And that was a great film. Yeah, The Final, right? Yeah. Okay, The Final. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of this going on. That makes it harder to find films that are worth watching. Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes you win finding a film based on the cover. I remember I picked up A Company of Wolves when I was little because I thought the cover was cool, and it turned out to be one of my favorite movies of all time. Sometimes you lose on that front. But, I saw the final cover, and it really doesn't... It does give you the wrong impression.
Yeah. I think if you watch the trailer online, you're going to have a much better idea of what this movie is about. And I think it was after watching the trailer that I learned more. And when Jurassic Jim suggested it for this evening, I was all for it. So my expectations were in the right place for it. Okay, so I don't know. I really didn't have. I thought it was well composed. Both in terms of the story and well composed visually. I like the set designs where a majority of the action takes place.
There's a great use of a lot of red and amber tones in the film.
The acting across the board was good.
Mm-hmm. Cinematography was stunning.
Yeah.
There were a lot of there was a handful of cityscape scenes which were really well done. I feel bad I have nothing bad to say. Usually I'm so critical.
Well, that's the thing. No. That's the thing. And sometimes some reviewers I see and there's reviewers you can see or read or hear or listen to their podcast, and some reviewers, I think, I don't know when I say excel, but enjoy reviewing horror films because there's things that they can make fun of, make light of in a humorous way, which could make for a more entertaining review. So more often, they're going to find something either not to like or at least something to make fun of. There wasn't anything to make fun of in this film. This is just a good film.
It was a really good film. I can't sit there and say like, oh, it was good, but this was off, or like it wasn't very good. But these actors did a great job. Mm-hmm. It was overall a good film.
Yeah.
And if you're into suspense, even true crime, thrillers, I suggest it. If you're not into horror films, it's not one.
No.
I definitely would watch it if you're into any crime dramas. I mean, there's something there for everyone. There's a little tiny bit of social commentary, not a hell of a lot, so it's not going to lecture you on like stuff that's going on. It's a good story. It has a lot of, it's very character driven as well, and there's not really just a definite good guy or bad guy. Sometimes you feel justified in the deaths, sometimes you don't feel they were. It's not predictable, I'd say. It doesn't really follow the film cliches. It's something that can definitely stand alone. I don't feel like I was right now comparing it to Saw at all, because Saw is crap.
Well, was looking to accuse you of I just think we need to be, as any reviewer, all of us need to, let's stop talking about Saw.
Yes, please.
Let's stop.
It wasn't that great.
Not because the merits of Saw, but let's work harder to allow things to stand on their own.
Yes, I can agree to that.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna work harder.
But it is fun reviewing a bad film. Like, I went on a whole rant about Black Devil Doll from Hell and Jurassic Gym, and it was a lot of fun doing.
Well, yes it is. And had we watched Mutant Hunt, which I suggested, I'm sure we would have had fun as well. But
we'll watch that next week.
Oh no! I've promised another member of the Fiendish Films team that we're going to watch Mutant Hunt tomorrow night.
Okay.
So, actually, he's off screen right now. So
that's who we're looking at.
Yes, it's Fiendish Films member Josh.
Do you want a name?
Yeah.
Do you want a stage name?
Dr. Stein.
Yes, you know Dr. Stein from our area.
Yeah, he's Dr. Stein.
So our intern. So tomorrow evening, after we watch Mutant Hunt, are you and I going to review Mutant Hunt together?
Sure.
All right. So Madeline and Jurassic Gym are going to take the night off tomorrow night, and after this, our next review will be Tim Kincaid's Mutant Hunt, where cyborgs get high, become mutants, and start killing people for the pleasure of it.
Because they're out of control.
Because they're out of control, and they destroy poorly built shells, and it's going to be, I'm going to guess, a lot of fun. And yes, we are going to make fun of it. So
maybe Jim will.
Because we've realized there's no fun in reviewing good films.
Yes,
okay?
We're just going to watch really bad movies.
We're just hypocrites. We're just hypocrites. But yeah, watch Die, and which is available currently on Netflix. All right. Good night.